Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm racing the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop. Got big dreams, want big rocks. I got plans, you got talk. Heard it's real cheap, but it's really gon' cost. I'm trying to get these ends, build empires with my friends. I'm about hell in my business. No time for stress over bullshit. You think success is an option? I'm trying to get this shit poppin' like woo, big move.
Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Homegirl Intervention. I am your lovely host, Zaria, and I decided I'm going to put my glasses on my forehead because the glare in the last episode, I'm pretty sure the last episode y'all saw was Valentine's Day, and I didn't like the glare, but I thought it was a pretty good episode. How have y'all been liking these so far? Some of my content like gets hit by the algorithm real bad. But like I said on the first episode, I'm not even worried about the views and the algorithm for real. I'm worried about the message. And I started YouTube back in 2018, and I was never really consistent with it. This is my first time y'all have ever got a consistent video for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. And it's probably because I planned it out or whatever. But I'm just happy to be consistent, and I'm happy to be back. Like, I'm not worried about the views because I know they coming, period. So as you can see, I'm looking a little preppy today. I'm looking a little like tennis girl. Outfit is very simple. This is a plain white tee, Target, Amazon, one of them places. And this skirt is like a little pleated skirt from probably Amazon too. Maybe Pretty Little Thing. I don't know. I've had this pleated skirt for years and I've worn it once and it was like for an hour or so. I never wore it. So I was like, let me just put this on for this. And then this little sweater that I have is ASOS. And then I have on Nikes. The rings, these are the rings I was telling y'all about in that one I'm going to put it over here. In that one episode when I was telling y'all I went to New York and I bought rings, these are the rings. Girl, they heavy duty. You know, don't get into a scuffle with these type of rings because they will do damage. So as y'all probably see from the title, girl, this episode is about the corporate life. Because as y'all know, I was just a corporate girlie not too long ago, a couple months ago. And I am no longer a corporate girlie. Not saying that I wouldn't get back into the space, but we're going to tackle some things that I feel like need to be made aware and just brings awareness to just different things within the corporate world environment or whatever. I do have a drink today, and this is a gift from one of my friends. This is the cutest cup ever. I'm going to try to zoom in if I can on this cam. And it says Chaos Coordinator, someone who solves problems you never knew existed in ways that will blow your mind. See also Ninja Rockstar Legend. And I think this cup is so cute. So yes, that was a cute cup for me. And I got that cup because, fun fact, if y'all did not know, I worked at Cartoon Network and I worked in the marketing space as a coordinator there. As y'all know, I love a good list. Maybe it's just the organizer in me. So I wrote down a list of certain things that happen in the corporate workspace to Black women. Not all these things are necessarily happen to me, but they happen often. And I think we should bring awareness to them so we can figure out ways to, I guess, problem solve and create spaces where we are appreciated and comfortable, you know? So I'm going to start off with my little random thoughts of the day before we hop into, the corporate girly talk. My first random thought was the people who rush off the plane before it like barely even lands and touches the ground. I realized for me that is something that really irritates me, and I wish it didn't irritate me as much, but it really does. Like the the wheels just hit the ground and you were standing up blocking the aisle. And not only that, like I can understand if you were doing that, if you were like, row A, like you're in the front, you'll be mid-aisle. I realized that a lot of the people that do that, it's not even like I'm in a rush type of thing. It's just bullying almost. Like they just want to be in the front. Why do people do that? Why are you rushing off the plane when the door is not even going to open for another 10, 20 minutes and you're standing up blocking the aisle? You're not letting the kids and the moms off and you're just like rushing through. Just doesn't make sense to me. Just get off according to your seat, And if you can't get off fast, you just stay seated until, it gets a little slow. But I hate the pressure and the rush behind, like, you're trying to scramble your stuff because people are, like, trying to push you out the way to get off the plane. Like, we're already landed. I don't get it. Whatever. Another topic that I had was, I saw this on Twitter a lot where people were saying if minimum wage exists, so should maximum wage. And I agree. I think I've been reading a lot of stuff that's going on in the economy lately. I mean, layoffs left and right from all these big companies, tech companies. I mean, nobody's safe. It's not just the creative and marketing side of things anymore. I feel like that's what got attacked most at first, was like the producers, the editors, the creative directors, the writers, the marketing team, and the DEI teams. We'll talk about that, whatever. But now, I mean, even the tech departments, the IT departments, everybody's getting hit with these giant layoffs. And I agree. If minimum wage exists, I think maximum wage should exist, because why are, these top 3 people in the company able to get these massive bonuses every year and these massive upgrades or whatever, steady climb of salary, while like the people who are entry level or whatever are basically getting crumbs? You know what I mean? I don't really like that. And I think it should exist. So if anybody has a petition for anything like that, I'll be up to sign it. And then that was my next thing about the Elon Musk DEI opinions and removing that from Twitter. I really think y'all should go look into this, because I never in my lifetime, right, did I ever think we would be going backwards in history. Like, of course you can read books and you see how things fluctuate or whatever, but like, I almost feel like we are 2 steps away from being in the Jim Crow era again. Like, seriously. Elon Musk got rid of the whole DEI department for Twitter, and other companies are following suit. And if you don't know, diversity and inclusion is where they make sure that, people of color, different genders, different sexual orientations are included in these companies, and they're not just, washed out by one identity and one voice and one thought. It's more like people from all different kind of backgrounds to contribute. Eliminating that, just how they're eliminating like Black history in school textbooks, is scary to me. Like, I was thinking in my head, like, wait a minute, we're going backwards in time. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's really scary. It's really scary. Even in like the colleges, like, I can't remember if it was Yale or Harvard, one of the Ivy Leagues got rid of affirmative action applicants. And it's just like one of those things where people aren't getting into Harvard just because they're Black or just because they're Asian or just because they're Hispanic. Like, you still have to have amazing grades, amazing volunteer opportunities. Like, the ones we need to be worrying about in colleges are the ones that just get an acceptance letter because their dad knows somebody that knows somebody, or they pay and donate extra money to the school. Those are the kids we need to be worried about. Not the ones that worked all throughout high school and studied up to 4 a.m. to get to Harvard. Like, I don't think people really understand what affirmative action is. In fact, the people that get accepted in Ivy League schools through affirmative action are still the minority. Do they know that? Like, they're still the minority. It's not like they're accepting all people of color into these Ivy Leagues and not leaving any more room for anybody else. Like, no, it's still like 3%. It's like this much. So we need to like evaluate that a bit, I think. And I advise y'all to all go like look up this stuff that I'm talking about and educate yourself, because it's actually really important to know. Because before we know it, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be asleep, and I'm gonna wake up and be in a nightmare, and somebody's gonna be knocking on my door to ask me to come, I don't know, pick some cotton on a plantation. Like, we're going backwards. That's all I gotta say. And then I did mention the layoffs earlier, and one of my bullet points was like condolences to all the people in the workplace that worked there 8 years, 10 years, even 5 years, 3 years, and was laid off with no, bad reviews or nothing. It was just, oh, the company's doing budget cuts, so sorry, we gotta let you go. When you put in so much work and so much effort, and now you just like got thrown to the wolves. My condolences to y'all, because imagine giving your all to a company, and this is what we're gonna get into, giving all to your company, losing sleep, always being the person to call on, always being the person that like, gets stuff done, and like the company has no loyalty towards you. Like, you think you're doing them justice by, I'm not going to take too many 6 days this year to show my loyalty. And next thing you know, you're fired. Like, it's a lot. It really is. But that's just what comes with it. You let people go to save money every year and then you rehire people in the new year, you're not going to have good relationships with the people that you let go. It's like they still want you to be on LinkedIn like, oh my God, I had an amazing experience at this place. I love all my coworkers. Like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of losing my job with not because of bad performance or anything, but because the company's doing budget cuts and I still have to save face and, so I could get another job somewhere, because if I bash this company, the next company's not going to hire me, I don't know, guys. I guess that's part of the corporate life, which I feel like is why I'm kind of not in it anymore, but there's other reasons, but still. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. And then we're going to get into that a little bit later into the episode. This episode is not going to be too long today. I'm going to try to keep it down to 30 minutes because I feel like the long form videos don't do as well. Like, are y'all watching them all the way through? Tell the truth. Are y'all watching these videos all the way through? Be honest. I need to know. Okay. Anyway, some of the issues that happen in the workplace against people of color, Black women, Black men, people of color, I made into a list, and we're just going to go down them and talk about them because some of y'all may not be aware about them. Let's have a little education session. Okay, microaggressions. Pretty sure most of us know what those are. Those can happen in almost any workplace. I have faced this a couple of times, and sometimes I feel like they don't even intentionally know that what they're doing is a microaggression, but sometimes I think most people just need to know, don't give unwarranted advice and don't comment on things that don't need to be commented about. Like I remember one time I had a coworker, I guess you could say, he was really in a leadership position, and a table full of people in a restaurant say, how can you see with those things? And I was like, huh? What do you mean? He was talking about my lashes. And I laughed it off because honestly, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little like naive and dumb, but microaggressions don't really like get at me too bad because I can like, if I start talking about how your Patagonia sweater has dog hair on it, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Like I notice things about you too, Rob. I just don't say them because they're not nice. I noticed that your glasses have fingerprint smudges on them and I don't know how you see out of them. Like if I start throwing tiny jabs, I'm the bad guy. So I think before you make a comment, just don't. Don't comment on anybody's appearance. Say, oh, you look good. That's about it. We don't need to say, oh, your hair is different today. I could never pull that off. We don't need it. I promise you. It doesn't make you a bad person to not acknowledge that your Black coworker came in with 3 different hairstyles this week and you're trying to figure out if it's her real hair or a wig. Just, I don't know. Don't worry about it. It don't have nothing to do with the job. As long as she's getting her work done, My next one was having to be referred in. This is one that's like ridiculous. And I did get referred into Cartoon Network. Shout out to my old boss manager, Aaliyah. I did get referred in. I talked to her about it and like ended up like getting an interview through that way. And other positions I've had where, you have to be referred in. That is a good opportunity to have. But I also think about people that are just really good at what they do, but don't have the connections in the places that they want to be. And that's kind of sad. I had a whole meeting with with a high leadership role of Paramount and BET. And I was just thinking like, oh my God, I'm sitting here talking on a Zoom call and, like some people don't even have this opportunity. Like people apply to these jobs for years and years and years and they will be good assets to the team, but the application gets looked over because, somebody else got a referral. And I guess that's just how the dice roll. Like that's just how the game go. I don't like it though. I don't know. I don't like it. I think fair opportunity is better. Can I really talk? Cause I got a referral? Not really. You know what I'm saying? It's still good, but I feel a little adversity about it. But also if you're in a high place of position or you're in corporate America, pull people up that look like you, especially if you know that they're going to get the job done, that they're good at what they do. Don't just try to be the token. Salary expectations. This is another thing. We're consistently being undercut on like the work that we do and what we do, and just expected to just shut up about it. And I experienced this a lot. Like my role from when I started in the beginning, by the time I left, was completely different. Like I started off as a marketing coordinator. I did events. I did San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. I did DC Fandom. I worked on like the Craig of the Creek giveaway. And then of course I did a lot of like programming and stuff with like the programming team and working on like ads and marketing, like Roku, Amazon, running ads, and things like that basically. But by the end of my role, girl, I was inputting ads. Like I had learned a whole new system and was almost helping other people because I learned it in like 2 days. And that's kind of not a good thing because I ended up being a go-to person for all of it. And girl, I was putting in slots and programming, and it just like, I lost the fun out of it. It was no longer fun. Like I wasn't working on any fun projects anymore. I wasn't doing anything fun. Part of that was because the budget was so slim. There was no other fun stuff for us to do. But yeah, it turned into me doing programming at the end, and I did not get a salary increase for training people or learning that. Like it just became like, okay, Zahria, this is your new job. And I said yes. And mainly I said yes because of my connection I had with my manager. Like I was very easygoing with her because me and her had a personal bond and relationship. But I know now, and I know walking into another space, that when stuff like that happens, you're supposed to ask for more money or, whatever, or jump ship. And, I enjoyed the experience though. I don't have any like negative thoughts about the experience. But it wasn't the same, and make sure you are requesting the salary you feel like you're owed. And I think, with AI and all this stuff coming, marketing roles, all that stuff is going to start becoming more slim and more slim. That's why I think we need to start like putting our heads together and starting our own companies, starting our own brands so that we can have spaces where we feel comfortable and still be getting the salaries and things like that we want. Yeah, the girls need to support the girls, It has to be something like that. Being the diversity hire, I never experienced this. I've always worked in spaces where there was other Black people or people of color or whatever. But I've had friends, that work in corporate America where they walk into a room, they're the only Black girl, and you're like seen as this token, and it's kind of uncomfortable being the diversity hire because it's always like February's coming around, Black History Month, and everybody at the conference table turns to you like, kind of weird. Kind of weird. What are some other things? I have a list of things. I might not get to all of them. Oh, your assertiveness and passion being seen as sassy or aggressive. Now, this has never personally happened to me in the workspace. I'm actually pretty like docile. Like I'm a very watered down version of who I really am. Like I'm still fun and friendly, but I'm not like super outgoing or super like, if I need something, I can be firm about it, but I'm rarely ever super like, I need this done. But I was around other Black women who were, and it's so interesting how the responses are, how much different they are, like if my manager was to say like, we need this done today. Now everybody's looking like, because she's a Black woman. But if it's a other person of leadership that's a white male or whatever, like we need to get this done today, everybody's like, you're right, Jim, we're gonna get that done. Like it's a different type of tone of voice that people perceive from us because we're Black women. And I wish that didn't exist because you can't be assertive and you can't be firm without people being like, ooh, she's a little feisty, or she has such a bad attitude. Like, no, girl, we just need to get this done. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that a lot. Oh, this is a big one. Now, this is one I did experience, worrying about the common ground. And when I say worrying about the common ground, I mean trying to be relatable. And I experienced it a lot. As a single Black woman, no children, no dog, no husband, I didn't really have much of a common ground with a lot of people. Everybody's got kids, everybody. And I was also the youngest in my office, girl. When I got hired, I was 22, 23. Everybody was in their 30s or late 20. Like the youngest person was maybe like 29 or 28, but everybody was like 30 plus, 40 plus. So I really did not relate a lot because on the weekends, I'm young and turned, like I'm going to the festivals, I'm going to the clubs, I'm going out with my friends, we're going to brunch on Sundays. I'm going on vacation. Like I'm living it up. And in meetings, you have to like relate in some way. And I didn't have that common ground with a lot of people. I don't have a dog to say like, oh, my dog is so like, I don't have a dog, girl. This house is clean. I don't like dogs on my bed, my couch, my pillows. I'm not a neat freak, like a germaphobe, but dogs to me are just really dirty. I don't like their tongues. I don't like the sounds that they make. I love dogs though. Like if you have a dog, I'm petting it. It's so cute. Like, oh my God, so cute. But when it comes to having my own dog in my house, I'm not into it. So I don't have cats. I don't have dogs. I don't have any of that. I had a all Black betta fish. That's about it. Me and Widow was like this. She lasted 3 years long, but that's about it. We didn't have that common ground. And it's such an uncomfortable space to be in because everybody's always talking about like, oh yeah, I got to go pick up the kids from school. And it's just that. And I don't relate, I don't relate to that. I can't tell you about what me and my husband did this weekend because the man I'm talking to, I don't need y'all to know. Like, I don't care to share. And even if I did, I don't care to, everyone is not my peer, and only even my closest friends know about like my love life and everything like that. So I especially won't be talking about it in the workplace. Another thing about that common ground is, or not having children and stuff, is they see you as more available. You don't have kids. You don't have a husband. You don't have to, you can work an hour later, or can you get this done by end of day? Like, I'm still getting off at 5 like the rest of y'all just because they can leave early to go pick up their children. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean I don't want to leave early too at 3:30. Like, and I didn't really experience a lot of that. I had a very like lenient job. As long as I got my stuff done, nobody was micromanaging me. Like, no. But my main thing is, they see you as more available. They see you as like, oh, she can get this done because they don't know about your inside life. Like, just because I'm not telling y'all about no kids that I got and all that kind of stuff doesn't mean, I need y'all to be giving me extra duties. My next one was, oh my gosh, monitoring your social media. This is weird to me. So walking into my corporate spaces, I'm not following my coworkers on Instagram. Okay. My work life and my home life is two different things. I don't tell them about that. Right. But eventually, as you work long enough or whatever, they might find your Instagram, they might follow you, might be in the contacts after like exchanging numbers or something like that. And then they follow you because they want to be like, oh, hey, girl, like we're friends. But, now they just like watching and just like seeing what you're doing. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you were at blah, blah, blah this weekend. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then like everybody always gets so surprised because I don't tell them like, oh, yeah, I have 18,000, 19,000 followers on Instagram. Like, I don't say that. So then they're like, oh my God, you're famous. And it's like, ugh, I did not want y'all to know that. I don't want y'all looking at my YouTube. And I'm not even doing anything bad. Like, I'm not even cussing. I'm not doing anything. I'm not cursing. I'm not doing anything bad. It's just, this is my life over here. And I want y'all to be over here. Like, I'm coming in here. We're laughing. We're joking. We're talking. We're working. But as soon as I leave these doors, I'm going back to ZAHRIA land. Okay. And I'm living it up. I don't want to have to block people, but I don't know. Following my coworkers, I'm not really into that. I think I should do 2 more maybe. Okay, my next one was code switching, assimilation, or like the need to be perfect. Code switching, like I said in the video before, it's like a version of like watering yourself down. And, assimilation is like, you're trying to adapt these characteristics to better fit in. Kind of like what I said, to finding common ground. You're just trying to like dress and talk like everybody. Like, I'm not really into that. So I feel like in the office, when you're not performing as a Black woman and giving them what they want of being this super fun, friendly, bubbly girl, maybe you keep to yourself more, you're seen as a threat or aggressive, or you're seen, you're just seen in a different light. And I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable because I just want to be myself. We should be able to feel comfortable as long as you're getting your work done and you still remain professional. You should be able to still be yourself. I don't like having to perform and just being the, super fun, friendly, like outgoing person in the office every single day so that people don't think I'm intimidating or a threat or aggressive or whatever the case is. But yeah, and really a part of what we're talking about today also is about like knowing your worth. Now that we're segueing into what the main intervention part of today is, you really got to do what you love, right? And it's okay to be the villain sometimes. You're going to be the villain in somebody's story, some way, somehow in life. So don't always worry about being the superhero. Don't always worry about being the person that everybody loves and adores, because it's not going to happen. You're going to be the villain in somebody's story, even if that means demanding knowing your worth, demanding what you feel like you're worth, leaving a company that doesn't value you, that isn't loyal to you. Truly gives you a sense of empowerment within yourself. Now, is it easy to just give up salary and give up money and just go about life? No. Like, I was saving up, girl. Like, I was trying to get my life. I made sure to collect my unemployment coins because it's just like, I'm going to get everything after I leave. Like, I'm going to get everything I'm worth. But, you can't control the narrative of how you're going to be perceived by other people, especially as a Black woman. And that goes for almost every aspect of life as being a Black woman. And this is coming from a Black woman, just my own personal experience. No matter which way you go, it's always going to be your fault some way, somehow. You're always going to be the villain. And this is not just in the corporate space. This is in all aspects. Whether you stay with the guy, you leave the guy. Whether you stay at the job, you leave the job. Whether you say something or you don't say something, you're always going to be perceived and be the bad guy. So just do what you feel is right and do what you want to do. Like, genuinely live the life that your heart desires, because you're always going to be the bad guy no matter which way you go. And what I did learn also in corporate spaces is that being non-confrontational is worse. When I first started, I was a little intimidated about the environment. It was my first time working in a high-paced environment. Like I said in a video before, I worked in like a cubicle type of office job, but at Cartoon Network, it was a really fast-paced environment. Very, like, it was no micromanaging, no none of that. It was like you have to know what you're doing and get it done. And I was a little intimidated because one of the things when I walk into a space, when I used to lay back, see how everybody else moves, and like, okay, I fit into that to fit everybody's, what everybody else does, because I want to like make sure I'm doing everything right. I'm a perfectionist. But then I learned, like, no, you have to walk in with confidence. You have to walk in like, okay, we're going to do this, get A, B, C done. Like, really, I gained so much confidence in the corporate workspace because of that. And that's the one thing I take away. Like, sometimes, like, being non-confrontational and being like, I asked Jessica for this yesterday. By end of day, she didn't give it to me. Like, sometimes you have to email Jessica like, hey, not sure if you saw my email yesterday, but this has to be done. CC the manager. Like, you have to do that sometimes because it's going to get done to you too. Like, you're going to be looking like the villain, but it's going to get done to you anyway in one way, shape, or form. Like, you're going to be reported to HR if you don't get your job done. So you have to stay on top of other people that don't get their job done. You just have to. I was in charge of running most of the marketing materials at the Cartoon Network Hotel. If y'all didn't know about it, Cartoon Network has a hotel in Pennsylvania. Go check it out. But yeah, I was in charge of that. And sometimes they would drop the ball. And instead of just being like, oh, you guys dropped the ball about this. Like, no, I would have to be like, okay, this is what we need to do for next time. Let's make sure this never happens again. What things can we do to put in place to make sure that we can have this ready on time next time? Things like that. Ask them, what do you need from me? Like, you have to be assertive. You cannot be non-confrontational in those spaces. And I know that as a Black woman, we try to come off so docile. We try to come off so soft and so nice because you don't want to be seen aggressive. Forget it. Like I said, you're going to be the villain sometimes. So just do what you have to do. And that doesn't mean don't take accountability for your wrongs. That doesn't mean stand firm even when you're wrong. That means taking accountability, taking a step back and assessing where you could have went wrong and what you could do better, but still be assertive. Like I said, y'all, you can't please anybody. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Remember that. And knowing your worth in a workspace really means, like, don't be on the hamster wheel of someone else's dream. A lot of times when you're working at these large corporations, just because you got the name, you got the merch, all that kind of stuff, you feel proud of what you do, which you should. But remember, you are running on the hamster wheel of somebody else's dream. Somebody else is benefiting from the work that you do, and you might be being underpaid, or you might be getting paid your worth. Who knows? But don't get lost on that, because you can be right off the hamster wheel and they'll replace you with somebody else. I saw a woman say she lost her dad and they gave her 3 days of bereavement. Like, and if you don't know, bereavement is like, the days you get off to grieve. But like, my dad just died and you telling me I get 3 days to suck it up before I have to come back in here and work. These places do not care about you. So don't get lost in the hamster wheel of somebody else's dream. And I don't think I have enough time for another story time, but I worked on a project in Atlanta early of 2023, late 2022. And I was on the hamster wheel of somebody else's dream. And I was very passionate about it. And I was very like divested into it. But sometimes you get overworked and they will use you for what they can get out of you. That's just how the game goes. So run on your own hamster wheel. Be the hamster wheel of your own dream. Like what I'm doing right now, getting 300 views on a video when I normally average a good 10K, like stuff like that. I'm on the hamster wheel of my dream and I'm just going to keep pumping until I get to where I want to be, because I know I'm going to get to where I want to be. I know that everything I wrote down in my journal, everything I manifested, everything I'm praying to God for, I'm going to get. So I'm running on this hamster wheel. I'm figuring stuff out. And I just I've been putting myself out there more than I ever have. Like like I said, being more consistent. I applied for a program, not sure if I'm gonna get in it or not. If I do, y'all will see probably a vlog of that. But like, I never do stuff like that. But I'm just jumping off the ledge. I'm trying new things and I am putting myself out there because the outcome that I want requires me to be more active in the spaces of like advertising or promoting myself. I have to market myself to the viewers, to the world. And it's hard for me to do, but that's something that I'm learning to do and doing more often because the outcome in my dream is on the other side of this door or on the other side of this hill, I guess you could say. And I'm just climbing up. I'm getting to where I want to go. You know, knowing yourself, knowing your worth can be a hard road to be on, but just know that the more you keep up with it, you will harvest results. It's like planting a tree. You know how long it takes for an apple tree to grow from seed to tree? It takes years. But eventually, when you start getting the apples on that tree, you getting them every year. You are harvesting the fruit from your labor. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm planting the seeds, girl, because in a minute I'm going to be harvesting. Y'all want some fruits? Because I'm gonna be having them. And it's funny because I mean that like literally and figuratively, because your girl, like I said, I am going to have a farm. Okay. This is almost the end of the episode. I told y'all this was going to be really fast, really quick. This is a book that I wanted to make the book of the day. It's called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow by MARSHA, SINETAR. She's Buddhist. Remember I was telling you how I've been reading Buddhist books? This is like kind of a Buddhist book because she talks about enlightenment a little bit in it. I haven't finished it. I've had this book for a year. I have to read it chapter by chapter because one thing that I noticed about a lot of books that are written by Buddhists or about Buddhism, they repeat the same things over and over again with like different words to really make sure you get the point. So like you might read the same phrase or word like 18 times in one chapter. And that like kind of hurts my brain sometimes. It's hard for me to like reread. Like I feel like I'm reading the same sentence over and over and over again, but they like want to make sure you get the point. But this is a book that helped me address quitting my job and just doing what I love. And it's called Do What You Love, the Money Will Follow. This is literally like the manual to figuring out how to make the money stretch. Okay. Because, you know, the money matters. As much as people try to say, like, just follow your dream and go out there. You can't just drive to LA with no money in your pocket and expect to be in the next, you know, Naomi Campbell model or next producer, high top producer and actress. It doesn't work like that all the time. And sometimes, but it does work like that for some people. That's why you got to read the book and know yourself. And the reason I like this book because it's not really one of those books that's just like how to become a millionaire. You know, they have those like rich dad, poor dad books. I'm not really into that. Like how to get rich quick or how to don't buy your morning coffee to save $10. Like I'm not really into that all the time. Now I am into sacrificing things to make a better life for yourself, but I'm not into like making it seem like you gon' have a whole bunch of money after doing these step, because it doesn't work the same way for everybody. But this book is a little different. This is a manual about just like knowing how to follow your passions and your dreams while also balancing like life. But yeah, the quote I have from this book, I highlighted. Girl, like I said, I didn't finish the book. I'm on page like 150 and I still have like 20 pages to go. This is page 130. The chapter is The Money Will Follow. How ironic. Chapter 7. She said, I'd also have to say that my father was a really great person in my eyes. He brought up all of us to think that no matter how bad things get, sometimes good comes out of it. If I go back to that lesson when things get rough for me, I see that all I have to do is hang in there and things will ease up eventually. Why did I want to change careers? I had one in my old career, but once you accomplish what you set out to do, it's often not what it was cut out to be, so you just let go of it. I think I've given up some significant things to have the life I have now, but I see that I'm my own person. Since I've done this, I can see that I can do anything. I wouldn't want to go through some things again, but I see that I have had courage, and I know that I can use that same courage to make anything happen correctly for me in my life. And the reason I highlighted that is because this spoke to me. One, my dad is the same way. My dad speaks life into me. He be like, the rough moments, like this is just a rough patch. You're going to get through it. Like my dad is like my motivational speaker almost. He helps me get through because I'm the kind of person where I'd be like, everything is going wrong. I'm very dramatic. I will cry every single day until things go my way. It's just how I am. Very dramatic. But you learn yourself more in these times of being just like down and out You almost become more creative in spaces where there's no creativity, where there's no creative range, where there's no money, where you almost become the most creative. And the reason I read this portion about like giving up and sticking with what you want to accomplish is because I think this show, or what I'm doing right now, is a personal testimony. I know I'm going to probably look back on this same video almost a year later and be like, girl, like you spoke this into existence. Like I stuck with it. I was consistent. I didn't let the views change me. I didn't let what people said about it change me. I didn't let the engagement, the comments change how I felt about this show. I'm passionate about it. I know what I want out of it. This is a movement. This is a moment. This is me. Ooh, that was cute. But that's to say, this is for y'all to watch as well. This is my own personal testimony, because when y'all see me doing the things I said I was going to do, know that it was already in my cards. It was already destined to be. And I just remained consistent and tried to be as optimistic as I could, because I can be very pessimistic sometimes. I can be my biggest hater, but staying consistent. And my anxiety be high, my heart be pounding, okay? The tears be flowing, but I'm sticking with it. I said 9 episodes, y'all gonna get 9 episodes. I said season 1 and y'all gonna get a season 2. I'm gonna start planning and working on a season 2. I'm going to give this my all because I believe in it. Do what you love and the money will follow. So yes, this is the book of the day. This is probably one of the worst books I will ever recommend to you in this season. Sorry, MARSHA, no shade, but it's really hard to read. But I'm telling you, if you are a reader, this is not for my girls that don't like to read. If you are a reader, just get it. Read it piece by piece. Pick it up whenever you feel like you need it, and you'll get something out of it. It's small, but this is not one of those books I could just read through. Girl, I was dozing off, and I was kind of bored, but I needed it. Okay, that's the end of this episode. Oh, song of the day. I always almost forget it, but then I remember it the right little second. Okay, so the song of the day, I chose Her Light by CLEO Soul. CLEO Soul is one of my favorite artists. She's in my top 10 of all time. And listen to the song Her Light, and it's the perfect song of the theme for today. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to make them shorter. Let me know if y'all want me to make them shorter. If y'all okay with the long, lengthy videos, I'll keep making them. But I'm like, maybe y'all don't like them. Give me some feedback. Let me know how y'all, I should send out a survey. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about the episode. I love y'all so very much. Don't let that job work you to death. You know, like I said, don't be on the hamster wheel of somebody else's dream. Do what you got to do, get it done, and that's it. And also, while you're doing it, put in work and effort into the things that you're passionate about. I don't care if you want to be a yoga instructor. I don't care if you want to be a graphic designer. I don't care if you want to be a farmer. Watch farm videos. Watch yoga class instructor videos. Look up tuition for the classes you need to take. And just go for it. Go for it, because we only get this life, girl. That is it, y'all. Love y'all so very much. Y'all catch these episodes every Sunday at 2 p.m. These are pre-recorded. And yeah, go to the website, sign up for the website. It's chat rooms on here. And I will see y'all next week. Love y'all so much. Bye.
Order in the court. Me first, you sure. On my time, been off yours. Boss bitches